2020 refers to one's vision, which is clear at a distance of 20 feet. But this year, 2020, has not proven to be perfect. We are all living and coping with a worldwide pandemic, economic uncertainty, and political and social unrest. Thank goodness we have our boats and there's no high water this year. Sailpast. We usually meet on the dock for the flag ceremony. The yachting committee is introduced, new members and boats are welcomed, followed by a short message from the club president. Each year, Moira leads us in O Canada, and the sailing season begins with a salute to the Commodore. This year, I'm welcoming you all through a video message as we shift through the reopening stage 2, with no more than 10 people can gather safely at a distance. First, I'd like to acknowledge the Board of Directors, Denise Baker, President, management and staff for ensuring the club and the dock were ready for our arrival this spring. Personally, cleaning the boat in warmer weather was far more enjoyable than chilled with me. I'd like to recognize and thank the yachting committee, Sue McIntyre, Vice Commodore, Vanessa Dorrington, Cruising and Events, Baldy Blocker, Harbour Master, Sandra DeBry, Communications, and Charles Stacey, Racing. Each should be recognized for volunteering their time, effort, and commitment as we all struggle to understand what activities can be done or not done this season. Cruising will be restricted. Racing has now changed its format, guests or no guests, and on it goes. So, a few words from our Cruising and Events Director, Vanessa.
Thanks, Mickie. So, cruising has taken an unfortunate turn this year as most of the clubs around the lake, including Canada and the US, have been closed for the season. So, we will look to do some events here at the club, cruise to nowhere, maybe anchor off Carroll's Bluff. A number of members have also expressed an interest in going down the lake to Kingston possibly. I'm actively looking at clubs that are open, mostly marinas, and if you are interested, please email me, and I will also be sending out a survey for you to do if you'd like to join us at the beginning of August. I've also kept a couple of events in mind. We're going to try and do a quiz night, which won't be on boats, but will be fun anyways. Maybe some sailing trivia in there. Like I said, Carroll's Point, a cruise to nowhere, and we'll try to do many events. Like the Moonlight Cruise that we just completed on Saturday, we had a great turnout, and we hope to do that again in August. All right, back to you, Mickie.
Thank you. And I'm going to call up Baldy, our Harbour Master.
Well, I'm glad we're all in the water. The boats are in place, and I'm pleased to say that as I walk the dock, I'm finding spacing between the boats way better than last year. Boats seem to have 2 feet, 3 feet between them. There's the odd one that's a little bit tight. The main problem this year has been tire placement for some of the boats. Some of the boats are fine. Others need an adjustment, and that won't take place till the end of the year. So we'll have to find remedial ways to fix those particular tires. But for the most part, they're in good shape. Mooring lines, I want to mention this now because there were issues with mooring lines the last couple of years. Please be sure to take responsibility for your own mooring lines in terms of buying them for your boat and then collecting them at the end of the season. They will be bagged and tagged and washed at the end of the season, but you are responsible for picking them up, so there's no problems with next year. You'll notice that there's been some improvements to the dock. Our L dock has been moved 18 inches down, making space to the parking lot and the north dock reconstruction will not take place till after the season, but since we didn't have high water this year, the docks are fully functional, and that's a good sign. New stairs, new platforms have been put on the docks, triangle docks, in the aid of getting on and off your boats. Shortly, I believe the barbecue table will be moved to the far end of the parking lot to the shed for sailors. So that's improvements in first aid kits and AED machines on the docks. Please ask both for their locations. They're at either end and in the middle as well. There's a new whiteboard by the ice machine for notes and weather and posting dock hours, that sort of thing. You'll notice that all boats now have replacement hoses and spigots. They're good to go. The sailors' parking lot is open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. There are still protocols in place for COVID-19. Please please make sure you read management's notes on that. Other than that, I think I've covered most of the changes we've had this year, and I think you'll find with the new placements, the new slip assignments this year, we're going to have a much better season as far as boats on the dock are concerned. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Baldy. And finally, I'm going to call on Charles Stacey, our Racing Non-Racing Director.
Thank you, Mickie. Racing's been off to a very slow start this year. Obviously, with the COVID problems and social distancing, our friends across the water, the OIS, have not been able to put out a committee boat. So, as you might know, the last 2 weeks, they started off doing what they call timed events, not races, which makes them, I gather, compliant with Ontario sailing. So if you've seen it, basically it's you go out, you start the race yourself, record your time, do a set course, and record your finish time. And it was very well attended. We had about 25 boats out on Sunday. So that's the only racing we've had is 2 Sundays. They're continuing those through the summer as long as the current social distancing. As far as YS, we missed it. We have an upcoming race slotted in on July the 18th, which was scheduled to go there. The challenge, of course, again, is that we're not allowed to have anybody outside of our towns. So I think what we want to suggest is to try to do a pursuit race type of actually called a race because it can't be a race. So I was thinking maybe we could call it a regatta. But anyway, we're going to on July the 18th, if you're interested, we'd like to do a pursuit race somewhere. The idea will be a start of 1 o'clock to a 2.5 hour distance. Obviously, pursuit race is by definition separated, which I think would meet the letter of the law. At the end, when everybody theoretically finishes at the same time, we thought we'd reprise Vanessa's rafting idea that we had for the full moon experience. And we'd have all the racers raft together, and we can have a post-race drink or 2 on the water. We'll put one required anchor down, and we'll have a celebration after the pursuit race. If you're interested in doing that, I hope you are, please send me an email. We probably need 5 or better boats to make it worth the effort. So if you could send me an email and that you'd like to participate, that would be great. As far as the rest of the races go, in terms of toward into September, we have 2 races, and we have the turkey race. I think we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm hoping that the province opens up a little further and we can do something more traditional. But in the meantime, we'll race as we can. Thanks very much, and we'll see you all.
Thank you, Charles. So let's begin the celebration of 2020. Our dock is 99% full. Brad Foreman sold Husker early in the season. He and Laurie are searching for a bigger boat and a plan to move to Hamilton. After years as OC members, Chris and Suzanne Cayley, together with their boat Shillelagh, moved to Hamilton last fall. But today we welcome 3 new OC boats to the dock. Steve and Martha Burnham on Quaddy Bay, David and Janet Sear with Getting Serious, Sean and Sandra DeBride with Malafaya. Yes, upbridges will be delivered to each of your boats. The notes that I had following, Baldy has already covered, so I will jump to the final stage. Ontario Sail is updating the list of clubs that are open to receiving transient guests. As soon as this list is available, I will be sending it out. But I encourage each and every one of you thinking of cruising, do not call Paul or myself. Call the destinations that you're thinking of visiting, get the name of the person you're speaking to, and get a confirmation that you have the slip upon. Some marinas are So, now we get on to the fun part. Moira, who has traditionally led us in O Canada for a number of years, has decided in the COVID year to step it up a season. Moira, I'm going to give you the podium to take the lead. going to say.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, to victory and love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Hey, travelers, to watch away, protégera nos torneos. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Canada.
So in closing, a reminder, there is no reception or dinner following Sailpast this year. But before departing the dock, each boat that RSVP, and you still have time as of tomorrow morning, Thursday, will receive a goodie bag. There is a small gift that has been produced, and I'd like to thank Sandra for her hard work in producing this gift for you. Please ensure that you receive your bag. Upon return to the dock, dress your boat and party on with your guests. Let's move forward and have a good season. It will be shorter, but we will have fun. I'd like to call Charles back with some brief instructions for Saturday.
So for the Sailpast ceremony, Sansir with Mickie and Dave is going to be out positioned in the water. And at 1 o'clock, all the boats are intended to go out and form up into line to pass Sansir and salute the colony. So the best way to do that, I think, is that we'll all be on channel 72 if we need to speak or make any changes to the program. But essentially at 1 o'clock, we should start off with the boats at the top end of the club, which would be Quaddy Bay, and then followed by the next boat down in line. We'll just go right along the dock with people falling in line behind. We need to be, let's say 4, 5, 6 lengths behind each other, and then we'll form up, following Anitra, in first place, and go around past Sansir. So if there's any queries, channel 72 will be our point of organization. So happy sailing.
Thank you very much, and see you on the water.